Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk about the soldering gun today. I get quite a few comments where guys want to know what kind of soldering gun I use. I've got comments where guys have the same gun but they don't get any heat out of it. Now there's a couple things you got to watch for, so I'll show you that. But right off the bat, this is a Weller. Let me get my reading glasses on so I can read this. Model D550. This is 240 or 325 watts. Now this trigger, it's a two position. You pull it the first time, that first click, that's the lower power. That would be the 240 watts. All the way back is a high power, 325 watts. This model here, it's got a couple of light bulbs in there, and I think they've been burned out for years. They haven't worked, which is okay because I don't do a whole lot of soldering in the dark. I haven't needed them. But if you're not getting enough heat out of this gun, a couple things you have to do is keep these tips clean. For some reason, they'll build up scale and oxidation on there, and that, for some reason, it seems to cut the heat down. So keep those clean. You can use a Scotch-Brite on them, keep some of the residue off the tip. And another thing is, once they get used repeatedly, these nuts here will get loose, and I think it's because the heat from the tip here it'll compress some and loosens this up. So I usually every once in a while back that off, tighten it up. That way if there's any oxidation in there, it'll break through that and clean it up. So make sure that's tight. But like I said, make sure this tip is clean. Do it about every time you pick it up. Keep it clean. Now, one thing I found years ago, I wouldn't have to replace a tip for, I bet you, 10 years. They'd last forever. The last couple years, I don't know if they're making them cheaper, but about every 6 months I've got to change the tip because it'll crack right there and you'll lose continuity. You won't get any heat out of it. So if you're going to buy a gun, just go ahead and buy the replacement tips right from Weller. And I've got all this stuff from Amazon, but there's the tips. They're a 2-pack, and I always keep these in my toolbox because you might solder a hole up or a patch and you go to do the next one and it's split, and then you're out of luck if you don't have a replacement. So yeah, if you're not getting enough heat out of your gun, if it's up to that same wattage, just make sure these are tight, keep this tip clean, and you should be fine. Now the solder I use, this stuff here I picked up at Menards. You can look online. The brand doesn't matter. This is Odie, but the thing you need to look for, now this is an acid core solder, is the amount of, and I don't see it on here. Okay, there it is, 95.5 lead free. So it's, this is used for plumber solder, but that's the makeup is 95/5, and I'm not sure. I'm not a metallurgist to tell you exactly what those mean. I think the label, the package it comes in, tells you how much tin, how much other components are in there. But this is just regular plumber solder that they use for plumbing, plumbing, copper pipes and that, soldering that stuff together. But like I said, this is an acid core, and it does have some corrosive properties to it. It'll corrode the metal a little bit. If you watch the previous video, I soldered up some holes on a fender. We set it outside. We're going to see what happens in about 3-4 months with it. But I've had a couple comments. Guys want to know if they can use acid core, or not acid core, but rosin core, electrical solder. And I haven't tried it, but I think the problem with that stuff, it's very small. It's almost like a wire, and you get a little bitty spool. And if you've got a big patch you want to solder in, I think you're going to go through that stuff so quick, you're going to use it all up before you get done. This is heavier, it's going to fill a hole a little bit better, where the electrical solder, I think it's going to heat up and it's just going to puddle out of there. It's meant just to flow it inside if you're splicing electrical wires together, connections. But it's an option, you can try it. I haven't, but this is what I use. So like I said, I've got a lot of comments the past year about what kind of stuff I'm using, and this is everything right here, nothing special. You can buy everything online. So I hope this helps you. Try it. Once you get the hang of it, it works pretty nice. So thanks for watching. Remember, hit that subscribe button.